Hello, this is Jay. Then again, you already know that. Welcome back to my channel. This channel is all about my cancer discovery, and this one is going to blow your mind because this one certainly blew my mind. Aside, you can probably tell my voice is a little different. I'm going through the radiation. Today, for the very first day, I am noticing some changes in my throat area. And so that's what that's coming from, but that's got nothing to do with today's video. So 5 months ago, let's see, we get the data, here it is right there. You can see right here it says streamed 5 months ago. I'm going to minimize myself because you won't want to be seeing me, you're going to want to be seeing this. 5 months ago, it is June right now, so that would have been January. I had no idea. As far as I knew, I did not have cancer. I was not diagnosed with cancer until April 8th. Yet here, January of this year, the three of us at CompuMatter are doing a podcast. I own a computer store. We're teaching the public about artificial intelligence, about AI. And I'm giving them an example here, totally random, from nowhere, of one of the ways that they could use AI to help themselves that they may not be aware of. Back in January, months before I had any idea that I had cancer. You've got to hear this beginning. I'm going to get myself out of the way. Okay, there's the three of us in the lower right corner.
That sidebar. I'm picking a completely random subject. I have cancer, okay? Now, I don't have cancer, let me be very clear about that. So it's giving me its opinion on some things, and it's feeling sorry for me, and now I'm going to ask it how to diagnose my problem. I have it is of the throat. Okay.
Can you believe this?
I'm looking for the latest possible cure for this disease. Okay. Now, none of this is.
I'm going to pause this. I want you to notice Douglas's, he's my son, his response. He doesn't think this is even an appropriate subject for me to be talking about. He's going to tell us that in just right here.
Applicable to me.
And I don't recommend using it as a
so now it's searching,
WebMD.
Right? Now it's searching. Yeah. He's going to summarize. It's going to summarize the most.
See, he doesn't recommend we use it as a WebMD, but as you know, many months later, that's exactly what I did. I actually did this to chart my own course. This is just unbelievable. Let's continue. And I'm going to give you the link to this video so you can see it's real. There's no way for me to backdate it. YouTube stamps the date. It was back in January.
Up-to-date research and treatment as of early 2026. But remember, your oncologist will tell you what's best in your specific. And so it goes through immunotherapy, and it's coming up with
right there. Head and neck cancer, squamous cell carcinoma. That is exactly the cancer that I have, but it gets better.
Some things. Here's an FDA expanded use case in 2025 for resectable head and neck squamous cell carcinoma, and on and on and on. That whatever question you have for ChatGPT, if it's complex in nature, then I want you to end it with, do you have any questions for me that would
refine the search?
Yeah, refine.
I'm going to skip along just a little bit here.
Better target.
So here's
exactly
the questions.
What type is it? Right? It wants to nail it down.
Tonsils.
I'll drop one in there.
Tonsils, right there. Now, I chose laryngeal voice box, but this was on the short list.
But I'll keep reading. Do you know the stage? I'll say it's early localized.
And it was.
Actually, we'll make it more challenging, and we'll say it's recurrent.
Okay. Well,
And
mine
all
was.
of it is still taken with a grain of salt, especially when it comes to health stuff. You should definitely go to a professional first.
Has HPV status been tested? And I will say it is positive, because that sounds worse than negative.
And mine was positive.
And, we'll go down. And what has been proposed so far? And I'm going to say nothing. And I'm just going to give it that. But there's a lot of important questions, as you can see. It knows to ask the right questions, and you answer these questions, and these will help refine the end result. And then what I would do is I would open up Notepad. Okay. Let me bring this over for a moment. All right. So here I would type in what is going on, and I would then add to the document as I learn from AI what are the more important things. Now, you might just be diagnosing a car, okay? I took a human medical condition, but it may be that my car is overheating. And
you can put in make and model, and then
you know, do you have any questions for me? And it's going to ask you what kind of car, what year, what make, model. Under, you know, does it happen when it's idle? Does it happen when you're driving fast? It's going to help you isolate that. And every time it asks you a question, post your question and answer in this separate notepad until you're refining the source document, okay? And then you're going to do this. You're going to take your source document and you're going to open up a tab. Instead of ChatGPT, we're going to open up Claude. If you haven't heard of Claude, you've heard of it now. Try it out. It's wonderful. And it works the same way that ChatGPT was, but it's like, in the case of a doctor, it's like having a second opinion. Now you've got two doctors sitting around the table. And I'm entering in just those four things. It's got more information. Now I'm going to say, do you have any questions for me? Okay?
And as an example, it's just like
Yes,
with
I do.
researching anything, it's good to have multiple
And
sources
so
of
it's
information.
asking me a lot of questions, which I could then say, oh yeah,
Okay, I'm going to pause that there. I'll put your link down at the bottom if you want to listen to more of this. But this is mind-blowing. Of all the subjects on the planet that I could have picked back in January to introduce AI, I chose cancer, I chose throat cancer, I chose squamous cell, or it led me in the direction of squamous cell carcinoma, and I chose HPV positive. Almost right down the line, exactly what I had. And I used AI, contrary to my son's best intentions, and you do want to get a doctor involved, of course, and I did. But once I got the doctor involved, I was using this very formula to save my own life. Mind-blowing. Totally unplanned video. I was on the showroom today in my store, and I'm walking by we have a big 50-inch TV into the wall that plays our podcasts on a regular basis, so that people coming in the door can hear them. And I'm walking by this podcast, and it just happens to be streaming this podcast from back in January, and I see me talking about cancer. And I'm like, well, what the hell am I up there talking about cancer for with these two? We've never done a podcast. And then I'm watching and I'm listening. I'm saying, oh my God, I remember that podcast. And here we are. So totally nothing to do with the procedures and what's coming and all that kind of stuff. But wow, what a mind blower. I had to share it. Link at the bottom to the actual video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.